Hello everyone, welcome to my series on OpenShift. In this video, I'm going to cover how to deploy Docker images inside OpenShift. Alright, let's get started. I have a workshop video, workshop repo here that you can take a look. So I'm going to cover this piece. That's deploying Docker image on OpenShift. Okay. Once I log into my web console of OpenShift, I can choose my project or namespace. If I want to log in using a token, I can just click on this question mark and then command line tools. I can then get the talk token here and log in that, and you can see I'm inside my project here. So I'm going to show you how to deploy using a UI and also how to deploy using CLI as well. All right. So in this demo, I'm going to use the famous Kubernetes guestbook application as my Docker image, but it can be any Docker image of your choice. Okay. It can be something which you built and then pushed into some repo that can be pulled into OpenShift. All right. And also, um, I'm going to cover a few other deployment strategies in future videos. So please take a look of them as well. All right, let's go and deploy this Kubernetes guestbook application on OpenShift. All right. So like I said, two ways of deploying it. One is UI and another one is CLI. Let me show you the CLI. OC project gives me where am I. So I'm inside OC my project here, which is good. And after that, OC new app and give the Kubernetes guestbook URL. So by default, it goes to docker.io and then looks at Kubernetes namespace and guestbook application and give it a name, guestbook 1, right? And that's all I need to run a Docker image. If I want to provide some environment variable, I can provide using .-env as well. And that's all I need to run this application. Once I do that, you can see OpenShift is currently pulling that image. This is in yellow color now. Once it pulls the image, it goes to blue. You can see the application is running now. You can take a look in the logs. Application is booted on 3000 and it is again available on 3000 port. But if you want to expose this application outside of OpenShift, you can just go and hit create route button here. You can see the 3000 container port is exposed. Okay, once I have that, just create and you should have a route which basically exposes this application outside OpenShift. So you can see my application is up and running now, the guestbook application. Right, so this is one way of deploying application and deploying a Docker image actually. Okay, and the other way of doing it is click on add to project, and in this section click deploy image. You can deploy Docker images which are inside the OpenShift provided Docker registry, or you can choose some generic one which can be anywhere outside. Okay, so docker.io, let's say I want to deploy the same application, or I can choose a MySQL application as well. Okay, just to have another application, I can choose MySQL Docker image. Then hit enter. That shows some metadata, and you can see it also shows a warning message that this Docker image is using root for its running the container, which is generally not preferred. So it throws an error. It throws a warning actually to warn you about this application might or might not run because it's using a root user for running the application. Okay, so if you're seeing some application not getting deployed onto OpenShift cluster, you may be running a cluster which has you may be running a container which has a root user. Okay, so just take a note of that. You can easily enable OpenShift to run any kind of applications with a simple command. Um, but it's recommended that you don't run containers which has root privileges. Okay, Right, so I'm gonna name this MySQL instance my MySQL, right? And then also this needs a environment variable called MySQL root password. So I'm gonna make it like password one, right? And then I can also give some labels and git create. And you can see my MySQL image is being pulled now, and it's getting deployed. Give it a few seconds, and it should deploy the container. So if you want to see progress, what is going on, you can click on monitoring, and that shows you that application is getting pulled here. And after that, it is successfully pulled, and it's a pod is scheduled. Right, so you can see my MySQL content is up and running now. You can also add health checks and all that I'm going to cover in future videos. This gives a fair understanding of how you can actually deploy a Docker image inside OpenShift. Okay, so once I have my application, my SQL container, I can go take a look inside the container by clicking logs, or I can go inside the terminal as well. So I can just go here and then execute my SQL commands, right? Um, that's all I have for the deployment of Docker image. In the in the next video, I'm going to cover some of the concepts like um, OCRSH, where you can SSH into the MySQL container that is running now, and also some of the rsync features that basically enables you to sync some of your source files on your local machine to your container. All these pieces I'll be covering in the next video. Please stay split. That's all right. Thanks.